Radio London. Listen, it's your boy LionHeart, and that song is by Gwen Stefani. Let me reintroduce myself, It's your boy LionHeart, BBC Radio London presenter, poet, and absolute romantic guy. Listen, I am probably one of the most romantic people in the world. I said it. I'm not holding back. No, tonight is a show where I'm really going to give you all of me pertaining to my heart and my romantic ways. And right now, we are asking you all, all right? When was the last time you told someone that you were in love with them? All right? Give me a phone call tonight, 0800 731 2000. Right now, we're joined by Marcus. Marcus, how you doing? You're out there in Fulham.
Yeah, I am, and I'm still there. Hello, Mr. LionHeart. You may remember me. I'm the silly Aussie who talks a little bit of not-so-nonsense every now and then.
Well, listen, my friend, as long as you give me vibes and personality, I'm never going to forget you. I'm never going to forget you. Listen, right, how are you feeling tonight? Because you sound very sprightly, and I'm assuming this is because Valentine's Day is approaching.
Yeah, but Valentine's Day really is just yet another day like every other day, because when you are in a relationship that actually is authentic, real, and everybody can see that, you don't have to celebrate on Valentine's Day, because every day is a slightly smaller version of that.
Interesting. Now, let me ask you something. So you are in a long-term relationship, right?
Yes, with my husband.
Great. Now, tell me this, okay? Is there ever a point where you feel you have to prove your love to your partner?
Absolutely never.
Why?
And that word is never.
Why?
N-E-V-E-R.
Why never?
Because we have already done that. We know how we feel about each other. It has transcended to the next level, and you don't have... I mean, I say to my husband, I love him every day, and he says the same to me back. But if we forget, it doesn't matter, and sometimes we take the mickey out of each other, and we...
as you do.
as you do, using extremely rude words and very bad language, and...
I love how you're media trained, Marcus, because you haven't said any of those bad words here on the radio, so I appreciate you for not doing that.
And it's all part of when you really get to know the other person, and you know that you're okay with them, and you are part of them, and they're part of you. This whole thing of, let's put it this way, two of my friends on Facebook on Valentine's Day,
right,
they tell each other they love each other, and then when one person sends it, the other one responds straight away, and they're sitting in the same house. But they're not in England, they're somewhere else.
Okay, all right. And listen, let me break that down for you, right? Because there is definitely a sense of laziness when you're in a long-term relationship, all right?
But within that laziness becomes a huge chunk of non-laziness, the total opposite, because you're doing all sorts of other stuff that other people...
Well, Marcus, you got to let me know. Listen, there are people tuning into me and you right now who may be single, Marcus. They may not have a partner like me and you. Yeah. And they be thinking, when I get into a relationship, I'm always going to be thinking of, Valentine's Day and how important it is as a feature. Please tell us, what things do you do for your partner, which is why you don't have to celebrate Valentine's Day?
Right, first of all, we don't take each other for granted. We respect each other. We have no jealousy or envy towards each other or their friends, of the opposite person's friends. We have our own space. We have let's put it this way. We have an energetic energy, which we just... Now, when I use the word energetic, this is the spiritual side, where energetic is how you feel inside the middle of your body.
I like it. I like where you go with the spiritual side of things. Keep it going.
So we have an energetic energy. It's more so on my side, and Tony sort of picks up on it, and he says, yes, he understands. Sometimes he does, but he gets it.
He might just be going along with it to make you happy, though.
Yeah, but now, when men, let's talk on the straight side here.
Okay.
When straight men are talking to another straight man who says that he is very, let's say, emotional and...
sensitive
and all of that, vulnerable, that puts the typical straight man under duress right from the start, because when they are confronted with said subject, that brings up all of their...
and Marcus, hold that thought. Said subject, you're talking about love, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Because when you are presented with love and you might be falling in love with somebody, you see yourself for who you actually are and what you're not, and all your disappointments or your achievements and everything else in between. But it's, are you okay with yourself? Not necessarily okay with yourself, but are you comfortable? Yeah, self-acceptance.
That's right. Hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah, and by the way, we all know that the opposite of love is not hate; it is indifference.
Well, Marcus, hold that thought though, because you just described it straight men, but what about gay men? All right, when it comes to vulnerability, when it comes to talking about love, what's the difference there then? In your mind?
Well, the difference on the gay side. Now, I please forgive me if I haven't said the right thing on the straight side, but on the gay side, it is more acceptable. But then within the sexuality of being a gay man, you have the different aspects of the gay man who will show his emotions and the other ones who won't. And so for compartmentalizing this subject, the typical straight man who doesn't show his emotions, there is a whole chunk on the gay side who are exactly the same, but they just happen to be gay.
Interesting.
There is no difference. But gay men generally do have more, they're open with their emotions, but within the genre of the gay man, there is literally hundreds of different types who will or won't show certain aspects of.
Marcus, you're bringing the show to such a great point, and we're only 20 minutes in, all right? So hold that thought. Now, I was saying in the beginning of the show that, most of my male friends in the late 90s probably wouldn't want to say I love you to their partner or whoever they're seeing, all right? It usually wait a couple of months or just never wanted to say it at all, okay?
Yeah.
Do you have a certain time that you wait to say I love you to your partner?
Do you know what? I wish I could say yes, just to completely annoy you, but the answer, of course, and you know it, is no.
Why? Now, and I want you to tell me why, because let me just give you a bit about me so you can give me a bit about you too, right? I am someone who, when it came to me and my current partner, it was only when she made me love the parts of me others made me hate that I realized that she was the one that I couldn't live without, all right? Hand on heart, right? She's the light of my life. And it was at that moment I felt more comfortable to say the words, I love you, all right? I had to realize what that person meant to me. Now, can you tell me what your husband means to you, all right? And why you feel so comfortable now to say, I love you?
Because when we first met, soon afterwards, he said such, shall I say, eloquent and elegant things with regards to how he felt about me. And funnily enough, do you remember those really old Nokia phones, the ones where you could only text or call?
Yeah, the 3210s again.
Like the 3210s, but there was the other one afterwards, which was slightly smaller, and it doesn't matter what size. Look, Marcus, that doesn't matter.
Right.
The point is, I've still got that phone somewhere here, where there was about 5 or 6 texts that he sent me, I think about 19 years ago. And of all the stuff that I've collected in my life so far, and I'm a crystal collector and all that stuff as well, all I would need is just that one phone with those 5 texts, and that would just be enough. And for him, who did not speak very eloquently or elegantly in the way that he felt in all of his past relationships, of which there was only one significant one of the opposite sex, I brought out in him those words that he had never said to anybody else. And when I received each of those, say, it was about 5 texts, I knew exactly that it was spontaneous and it was authentic.
Oh, my goodness. Listen, Marcus, I could talk to you about love all night long, all right? But I would get in trouble by the BBC bosses, all right? So one thing we're going to do, we're going to put a pin in it, and I would just like to say thank you for calling tonight, all right? Thank you for sharing, the love story with our listeners, because I know there are some people who probably, get a bit, they live vicariously through people who are in a relationship sometimes, if you're single, that is, all right? So it's really good that we can expose our emotions and our sensitivity and our story. So thank you for doing that. Let's go on to the next topic, though, okay? Let's go to the next one, right? Now, we are talking about obesity tonight. As I said, there's a drug for treating obesity which could cut body weight by up to 20% and has been described as a game changer by researchers. But what do you think about that?
Oh, you're still with me? Right, okay.
Say that one more time, please.
Yeah. Is it me still, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Funnily enough, I've just been creating my own smoothie, and I'm not a vegan. I eat meat, I eat everything, but I've created my own version of a smoothie that gives you all the vitamins and minerals that pump you up for the whole day, and you can actually miss probably lunch because there's so much stuff in it, and it covers all the stuff that you need to give you the energy. But not only does it do that, it opens up the pineal gland, and it helps your body regulate where things need to go based on the initial powerhouse of macronutrients and micronutrients that you get.
You're speaking well over my pay grade right now. These are things which I am not aware of. But Marcus, let me put a pin in it there. Can I ask a personal question? Would you mind? Now, would you describe yourself as someone who has been obese or is currently obese?
Right. Well, I'm Australian, English, Scottish Chinaman. So, and I'm 6 foot tall. I've been about 74 kilos for the last 30 years.
But would you describe yourself? I want you to say. I don't want to describe you because that'd be offensive in some people's minds.
No, I'm not obese, but even though I'm quite thin, a few years ago I went to the doctor and they said, the difference between good cholesterol and bad cholesterol.
Right.
I had really bad cholesterol, and I had average good cholesterol. I then changed my diet about 10 years ago, and now I have the top figure on the good cholesterol, and on the bad cholesterol, I have a figure of about 3.
Okay. All right. So Marcus, then you would say then that you're not obese.
No, but obese can be internal and can also be external. That's the point that I was trying to make, and I didn't make that clear.
Okay.
You can have internal obesity and external obesity.
So if you had a friend right now, or let's say you had a cousin or family member who is obese, all right? What would you say to them regarding this drug? Would you advise them to take it? What would be your reasoning behind that also?
Right. Well, with regards to the drug, I'm not necessarily anti-drug, but I believe in putting your own self in control of your life first, and then if that doesn't work or you need a bit of a push, then go to the medication side. Now, on the medication side, some people I think would actually need it, but then you've got the pharmaceutical argument where they always try and sell their drugs to the doctors as part of being a doctor, so then the pharmaceutical companies keep on making money. So let's take that argument out of it and let's think of the health of the person.
Right.
There are some people in society who just cannot get their act together on good diet, and unfortunately, particularly in the Western world, that is a significant percentage of people. And I'm going to say this, but I think there are a lot of sick people out there who just don't know what they need to do, when actually it is their parents and their parents' parents and their parents' parents who should be teaching their children how to eat properly.
Now, Marcus, hold that thought. We are having a roller coaster right now. So are you describing people who, and listen, we are very sensitive to body shaming, to fat shaming. This is not what we're doing on the show. We're having a discussion. If you do feel that we are being, a bit rude, please do call us, 0800 731 2000, and we will continue that dialogue and expose that. But right now, Marcus, you said sick. You used the word specifically sick. Now, all right, listen, as I've stated earlier in the show, right, there's a story here that says, they have found that obesity is now a bigger cause of deaths in Scotland and England than smoking, according to new research. Okay. Now, do you put it down to the individual? You said something about habits. You think that someone doesn't have, people who are obese, do you feel like they have a lower willpower, or do you blame the parents for why they're in their condition?
Right. It's a very complex argument.
Yes.
In the Western world, there are so many factors that you could put into the argument, but now, I speak as a 52-year-old man who has not had children.
Right.
Right, okay. It's very clear that I put that out there. Now, my dad always says, you can't say what if, but on this occasion, I'm going to say what if. What if I was going to have a child a little bit earlier on in my life? It is my obligation, number one, to be watching everything that goes inside that child's mouth, because I have decided to have a child. It is my responsibility.
Up until a certain point. And now I'm someone who hasn't had children or kids yet, all right? I can put myself in the same bracket, but there reaches a point where they've reached for me, and I stopped eating what my parents wanted me to eat, what they guided me to eat as a child, right? And that was in my early formative years. So parents don't have the same control that we would like them to have. And sometimes when they do, it forces the child to be in a state of rebellion. Now, we are speaking about the mindset. I think this is where we're going towards. We're talking about the mindset now of people who categorize themselves or who have been, categorized by a doctor as being obese. It's a particular, it's a narrative that me and you can't particularly speak on unless we have someone else to share that. Now, what would you say are the reasons, behind why people are obese, right? Not just the parents. Like, what would you say are the reasons? Because as I said, parents have a certain amount of control, but it stops at a point. So if you Sorry, go ahead.
The amount of lobbying that goes on with food companies with regards to the amount of salt and sugar in food, cheapening the cost, bringing the cost down, and also those people who lobby the government who are in the pockets of certain governmental members who then get backhanders, and so then you've got this money cycle continuously going around where that certain group of people keep on getting fed the same amount, like regular amounts of income, and then it's a little bit like the smoking thing and the lobby until the anti-smoking lobby got too big, and then you couldn't advertise cigarettes any longer. At the moment with sugar and salt, that's still happening, and the people who were trying to stop this, that voice hasn't got big enough yet, and so I would even say go as far as you're suggesting to take the control away from the parents, the onus away from the parents, and think about the bigger picture of all the stuff that we are bombarded with, when we grow up, and all the advertising and all that other stuff.
I know. It's a lot. We are bombarded with so much media and narratives and people's perspectives that it shapes us as individuals. Listen, Marcus, we've been speaking for quite a bit, and I want to hear, what the people of London and the UK want to say about this new drug regarding, treating obesity and reducing up to 20% of their body weight. Listen, you've been an absolute star, Marcus.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for sharing your opinion, and do call me again, all right? I do expect to hear from you now. Okay, you have a brilliant night, right? And say hello to your partner for me.
I will do. Okay, bye.
Bye.